wrap that into next year's budget, because it'll really happen for the most part after July 1st. But we'll use some of the grant money for that.
And I did write a proposal, I sent it to Luke, we'll talk about it, I think at the staff meeting.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And really, it's in part, it's hard for all of us to get together over the summer all together, but to use time when there could be strategic meetings between smaller groups of people to plan.
Same grade
You know,
level.
particularly our fourth and fifth
Yeah, that was a
grade team,
grade,
K1 team.
grade level.
Yeah, that's what we really need to do, is get down and dirty with the curriculum and,
Right.
yeah.
And then the other comment I have is, I would really love if we could figure out a way in this last bullet to include the concept of agency. You know, there's there's a book called Educate, which is written by a woman who grew up in an Idaho mountain home, did not go to school as a doctor or anything. Went to Brigham Young, right out of the mountain, and she's written a book about education, and then on Friday night at the news hour, she did a 3-minute thing, and at the end of it, she said, you know, education is not school or institution, it's a process. It's a process of making yourself, and you can either participate in that process, which she did after she left home, and basically formed herself, or you can let that process happen to you and be formed, and you can just submit to it. And I think it's really, that's a deep insight, and of course, part of her ability to do that was learn in the self-sufficiency of her own family. So I just think the concept of agency in terms of kids feeling empowered, not just that they're relating to it, but and I think we do that, I just think we do it if we get articulated.
And if we find a way to really evaluate how we're doing it.
Yeah. assess
Say it
that.
again?
And really assess how we're doing it.
Yeah, do kids feel like they have, you know, agency is too big a word for them, but do they feel like they're in charge of their learning? Or they feel like their learning is being delivered to them by us? And and I do not have any idea how to word that, but I think it's at the core of our core values, that kids develop their own learning in a social context. So I think it'd be good if we could find a way to put that in this last thing, and find a way to ask kids about it, to evaluate how we're doing.
I think that fits in totally with the inquiry,
Hmm?
the inquiry, stuff that we're learning about.
Approach, yeah.
Yeah.
And the survey system we brought on board, Panorama, does have questions related specifically to agency.
Okay,
And we could add our own too.
okay,
Great,
thank you.
okay. I'm gonna go out for public comment on this item. Yes.
What's the nutshell of, what is it, investigative learning?
Inquiry.
Inquiry-based learning.
So there's project-based learning, there's problem-based learning, there's inquiry-based learning. In large part, they're all very similar. And everybody, there are many different definitions for each one. But the way I see it is, with inquiry-based learning, you're looking at an issue or a situation or a topic through a question. And so you're asking kids this big overarching question at the start of your unit of study, just to get their minds thinking. And their goal is to answer that question by the end of the unit of study. And so over time,
To have an answer for it, not, you know, it's not a question that has it's not like a multiple choice question, it's a big question.
Might
Okay.
not just be one right answer.
So there can be many right answers.
And then the process we're looking at is their inquiry arcs, where there's this planning process for the teachers. And then over time, the teachers step back, and the kids start asking questions, and start answering their own questions related to this, and then they show everybody what they've learned in some unique way.
Huh.
So we do some of this to a degree, if we're talking about, our expo day,
Mhm.
or this room turning into Yosemite, and the K-1 classrooms turning into the rainforest. But it's really just having a real planning process, and that we all do it together the same way as kids transfer through the grades. There's an understanding of the process
Okay,
and the
Sounds
learning that's
cool.
going on.
And what I noticed when we went to visit a school, an inquiry-based school in San Francisco, is that the kids became really good at being curious, asking questions, wondering about things, kind of like they felt like it was their job to take it on and really, ask good questions, and they went in different directions, so that you start with one kind of basic idea that everyone's doing together, but then they all go off in different directions with it. So it's really neat.
cool, thanks.
So that ties straight back to what Connor's saying about agency and empowerment.
Mm-hmm,
And that, historically, people think of education was like a cup that's being filled, like we're taking kids and we're filling them with information. That's just shattering that, and it's really taking the kids and they're creating their own knowledge. And that's the language in our petition. Kids are creating knowledge rather than absorbing knowledge.
okay. Thanks.
And just, if you think of that in your own life, just, those are the things you remember, the things you've explored and discovered.
Right,
Not the stuff that you were forced to memorize. Maybe that annoying, the thing your poem that your teacher made you memorize, but other than that.
yeah, that kind of ties back to, how does the saying go? Tell me and I'll forget, show me and I'll remember, and then something else, and I'll understand.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I think along those lines too, as our school grows and evolves, it'll be nice to move it more and more out of the classroom and into other spaces and into the community, or kind of like what some of the classes recently did in West Marin, that field trip. Where we kind of
To kind of go on this tangent a little bit, there's a lot of talk about service learning related to this. We're gonna go on a staff hike tomorrow. We're gonna talk about how we can do these things just using the outdoor resources we have here. So this, this LCAP document, if you think about this and what it's holding us accountable for, we're always making sure that we're being creative in how we meet these goals, making it meaningful for kids.
And this is why it's gonna take a lot of time for the staff to meet together. This can't just happen in isolation. This is really like looking at big picture, what are our goals as a school, and how are we gonna make that happen, come together? And it's not just gonna happen, 2 days in June, it's gonna be an ongoing process.
All right, so, any more public comment? Okay, so this is an action item. Do we wanna make any formal motion or recommendation? I did hear in terms of bringing the agency or, empowerment of the students into it in some way, so I think we'll work on that piece a little bit. Anything else? Okay.
Do we need to vote on it, or can
I
you
don't
just?
think we do, because we actually are gonna vote on it in June,
Yeah.
so it's really just giving maybe some direction for the next one.
And, somewhere we need to narrate how many times this has been discussed and where,
Yeah.
with whom. That needs to be documented,
I'm logging it,
okay?
because I have to type it up, so.
Including this meeting.
Yeah.
All right, I will move us on to our next agenda item then, which is our current enrollment snapshot and 2018-19 enrollment wait list and application update. Who's gonna present that? That's basically-
So the enrollment snapshot speaks for itself. The application update is I think we've we are in the process of registering 36 kids, most of them for kindergarten, in first grade, but 36 overall. We're gonna have a lottery, we're closing enrollment period tomorrow night. And probably that ought to be an action item. And then there'll be a lottery on Thursday afternoon. And, we are gonna change the enrollment policy, I was proposed we change the enrollment policy later on in the meeting so that in-district kids who are drawn in each enrollment, at the end of each enrollment period, come in ahead of any out-of-district kids who are still on the wait list. So, I think, there's a category on the, I think in the next couple of days, we will fine tune what is in the board report. And then, so that when we get to the lottery, we'll know exactly how many people we wanna accept. So we can let those people know right away, and we'll probably just be in-district people because of the need to keep our ratios sustainable for our Prop 39 process.
Are there any questions about this at all? Any public comment on this item?
Yeah, what is your in-district numbers as of today?
Hundred and, let's see, is that the right thing?
122?
So in terms of current enrollment,
Today, whatever,
Yeah.
whenever you do your last enrollment period,
It's.
122.
122.
and it was, what, last month, 124?
I don't have my report from last month in front of me, so.
So you went from 102 to 124 to 122 of in-district kids, right? I'm just trying to verify that, right?
Well, don't remember
I don't
our
remember
last
exactly
month's
what it
number,
was, the same time last month. It's-
but we did go from 122, so we are 122 now.
So how is this not a material revision kind of question? Why aren't you guys doing material revision?